Hello everyone and welcome, finally, to F123. Yes, the start of an all-new F1 game, the start of an all-new journey. And today we are going to be kicking it off in the only way I know how. Yes, it's time for round one of our My Team career mode. Of course, F122 had quite the storyline behind it for us, you know, famously for having a fair share of mechanical failures. So I'm hoping F123 can be a little bit different. Of course, the first episode of the all-new My Team career mode is normally quite a long one, so we'll wait and see as to how things go today. Of course, if you just want to skip to the racing action, I will be leaving timestamps down below as well. Of course, you can just skip to the bits that interest you. But yeah, obviously you've got the option of a driver career mode or a My Team career mode. If you want to see my Williams Road to Glory, you better follow me over on Twitch as well. Then, of course, I'm going to be bringing highlights from the Williams RTG. In fact, the first stream was actually yesterday. So, yeah, would highly recommend going back and checking that out. Of course, we stream over on Twitch, but obviously we're going to be streaming quite regularly over the first few weeks. Highlights from that are going to be coming here to YouTube, but the My Team career mode is going to obviously remain as a YouTube exclusive. And for the first week or two, I'm going to be trying to do 2 episodes a day of this series as well. So definitely want to get yourself subscribed, and I will not be missing a day of uploads on F123 with My Team until I win the World Championship. Yes, that is your Matt212 promise. Daily My Team career mode episodes until we win that crown. So yeah, definitely want to make sure you get yourself subscribed as well, of course, for that, because there is going to be a constant influx of My Team then. So in terms, though, of our entry points, obviously you can start at the back, you can start at the middle, you can start at the front. I always like to start at the back, you know, it makes it a bit more fun as well there. And of course, it's going to mean we have got a lot of grinding to do early on in this game. We obviously want to do full seasons as well. I want to see every single track on the Formula 1 calendar as well. And we are, of course, going to be having to run some custom settings as well. Then, of course, in terms of everything, of course, I run no assist whatsoever on the F1 games. Difficulty, definitely don't want to run 31. We'll keep it at, we'll go with 104 like I normally run, and sort of see how we get on from there. Full qualifying, full practice, of course, and we will obviously be running 50% races throughout the entirety of the series. Driver moves, obviously, everything like that will be enabled as well. Corner cut we'll leave on regular for Season 1, but I am tempted to change that as well in the future. Increased chance of safety car formation laps on, and red flags on increased as well. Otherwise, I don't think you're going to see many. And we'll run, you know, simulation absolutely everywhere where we can, apart from damage, because I don't know how well that works as well then. But there we go. I think we're all good to go. So we'll skip the My Team icons. Of course, I like to bring a Formula 2 driver into the game. I think we can add them later on. Yeah, you can enable them later on anyway, so I don't really want the My Team icons getting in the way too early on there. But anyway, yeah, let's sort of see then what our options are. Of course, for those of you that don't know what My Team is, you are the 11th team on the Formula 1 grid. Do you want the challenge of entering into Formula 1 as a new team? In My Team mode, you'll start from scratch, as I said, as the 11th team on the grid, building your way up to create a lasting legacy. Being both the owner and the driver will have its own unique set of challenges. You'll have to perform both on track and behind the scenes. And of course, the other big question I'd asked, Nick de Vries. Nick de Vries has nicked my driver number inside F123 there, so I'm not too happy with him. So I think what we're going to have to do, of course, normally I rock number 21. We'll double it up, and we'll run 42 inside F123. But there we go. Driver all set up, ready to go. Let's go build our car. And of course, we are sticking with 212 Motorsport there as well. You know, we've always got to be 212 Motorsports. So yeah, no Audi 212 though, at least early on in the game.
Some kind of income stream is critical, so we need to sign a primary sponsor.
Right, this is of course where the big decisions start to come in.
Sign-in bonus to the team up front. This is vital to cover the early investments we need to make. They'll also provide a valuable weekly income for us. Each sponsor has a goal they want the team to achieve. If we hit that goal, the sponsor will pay us an additional goal bonus.
So got to be very, very careful as well. Of course, you don't want to overextend your goal bonus early on inside F123 there. But 15 constructors points, 8th overall seems quite a challenge. 2 points finishes. I think, you know, honestly, I don't quite know what to expect. So we'll go with the smallest one.
We need
So
both
now we've got to try and
performance
pick an
durability from our power
engine.
units, but we also need to balance the books.
So
gonna have a lot of
interesting
other
then.
areas to invest in
Ferrari
this season.
apparently is by far and away the most powerful power unit inside F123 to begin with then. But 3.3 million is quite a lot of money. I do like durability on a power unit as well. We obviously did Red Bull powertrains at the end of season, at the end of my team on F122. So you know what? I think we're actually going to stick with Renault then. Normally we go, Red Bull even. Normally we go Renault E-Tech, but you know what? Yeah, we'll have Red Bull powertrains kickstart this game.
But we still need a teammate for you.
And now we've got to try and
Higher driver's
find
experience,
ourselves a
the more resource points
teammate.
are earned to spend on vehicle upgrades.
Tearport chair,
earn a claim
Tearport
based
chair,
on
just out of our
performance.
price range. That is gutting.
When a driver earns enough
So yeah, really the options are Fittipaldi, Daruvala, or Richard Verschoor. Haven't rocked any of these personally, I don't think, in the F1 games in the past. You know what? I think we'll go with Enzo Fittipaldi then. We've got quite a Brazilian-looking driver suit as well. So I think, yeah, Fittipaldi is probably going to be our best bet there. And good focus score as well. Lacking some experience, but good pace. And I think then, 150k left in the bank. We are ready to go. F123 My Team. It all starts from here.
New year, new drivers, new team. Welcome and great to have you with us as we move far away from the paddock to the headquarters of the newest outfit on the Formula One grid. We've been granted exclusive access with an interview not just with the team owner or the star driver, but both. Because for the first time in modern F1 history, the team owner is behind the wheel themselves. Now is a great time to bring a new team into the sport, particularly off the back of such compelling competition last year. 2022 saw huge regulation changes, and it was Red Bull who came out on top in the development race. But that was last year. This year could be a very different story. Let me tell you, this facility is an absolute hive of activity, and there is a palpable sense of excitement around the car they've built. Quietly, they truly believe they can challenge at the top, and they've had the time now to craft a hugely competitive race car. But theory is one thing, and taking on the brightest lights in motorsport is quite another. So how does the owner of F1's 11th team feel as they prepare to be thrust into the limelight of the F1 circus? New driver lineups, Qatar returns, Las Vegas debuts, and the engineering race continues to push the sport and the drivers to new heights. What are they aiming for? Most excited about? Most nervous for? Well, soon we will meet them to find out. But first, let's take a look at the brand new car. Well, hi. Thank you so much for having us. Great to be here. I'm going to start with the question that everyone is asking. It's been a long time since we've seen a team owner drive their own car, and a lot's changed since then. The sport has really evolved. So how are you going to manage the responsibility of doing both roles?
So for those of you that don't know, of course, these interview questions actually at the start of each F1 game do have real implications as to your performance at the start of the series. Of course, over time, you should be fine. But yeah, you can actually quite effectively help yourself or damage yourself to kickstart the F1 game. So I don't think this one is going to make too much of an impact, but this isn't just about me, this is about my team, and I'm behind them 100%. Together we're unstoppable. Nothing easy is worth doing. I live for the challenges like this. I won't lie, it's been a lot of work and there's even more to come, but I wouldn't have taken on the task if I didn't believe in myself and my team. I think we'll go supportive where we can.
And tell me about your teammate. They're clearly very excited to have signed with you. What do they bring to the team?
Well, apart from the fact he suited the driver's suit, you know, we're all about that aesthetic down at 212 Motorsport. It was tough to get any new drivers to sign on the team, but I'm glad they took the gamble. Their skill set really suits our team. We've seen what they can do on paper, and I see a lot of potential in them. It was finding the right fit for our team. They understand that we're new and appreciate the opportunity we're providing. I reckon we big up Mr. Fittipaldi. How long that'll last, I don't really know.
So tell me about the work on the car. It's clearly a blank canvas. You've done a lot. What have you prioritised?
So obviously this is now where we really start to see some of the important balancing inside the game. There, obviously, generally in previous F1 games, engine power has been very, very important. Of course, now we've got the new refined traction model as well on side F123. Hopefully, that's going to mean that obviously the car can be a little bit more competitive in every single regard. So I think, to be honest, making the car as responsive as possible was one of the main goals. It's going to give us the edge going into the corners. Maybe we'll put a bit of a focus on downforce to begin with.
Now, there's no getting away from the fact that your competitors have a huge amount of Formula One experience. You are a total newcomer. Tell us where you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains.
Then the option that is screaming out to me is fuel load to the key to reducing the weight of your car. The efficiency we've got out of the power unit will keep weight down. That will really help us out on the power unit side of things. I can't see anything else that is going to massively help, apart from maybe the ERS upgrade. I suppose if we want to try and use the battery, it is still quite effective on F123. You know what? We'll go with that.
Now, ultimately, your success this season will be determined by whether you can take positions from other drivers. Where do you believe this car has the edge?
And again, I think, we've got to try and put some focus on the power there as well. So overtaking is all about power. We've been working hard to get every bit of performance out of the power unit.
And with so many disciplines and experts working so closely together here at your HQ, who gets the coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Who are you most proud of as the first race edges ever closer?
Oh, I think that's a bit of a tough question, Natalie, but, we'll stick to our guns. We've been hyping up the powertrain department so far. If power isn't important on F123, I have literally shot myself in the foot before we even get going, but we're going to roll with that.
Well, I could talk to you all day. Thank you so much for your time, but I better let you get back to work. There's plenty more still to do. All the very best for your inaugural F1 season.
Well, here we are then, ready for the start of an all-new journey then. The car's looking good. The facilities look pretty much exactly the same as they have been in the recent games. So in terms of performance then, how are we looking there? 8 powertrain upgrades already on the car. Looks like we have got a few more upgrades inside F123 than we've had in previous games. And look at Williams! Up there is like 6th best team. That's incredible to kickstart this game then. You can see the balance is looking pretty good though. Red Bull obviously on top. Ferrari ahead of Aston Martin and Mercedes is a brave choice by F1 there. Alpine a little way ahead, and then of course we've just got the huge gaggle of cars a bit behind them. So you can see, Williams down to ourselves, all very, very closely matched. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of good battles early on this season. There are 23 races, of course, the longest F1 season we will ever have done as well. And like I said, we're obviously going to have daily or twice daily uploads inside this first week of F1 23 then. In terms of anything else, of course, we need to make sure that we're spending our R&D points. I keep clicking the wrong button. So yeah, we've got to make sure we're using team activities and that sort of thing as well. So I think we want as many R&D points as we possibly can get early on in the game. So I think, driver camp as well will be very, very useful. And that's going to take us right the way through to the start of the season. So we've got our new then engineer, if you will, Ben. Just want to catch up and talk about some tasks I'd like to focus on. We're a new team, and if we want to compete, we have a lot of work forward to do this season. Our team is not well known, so we must build up our acclaim to get better sponsors. This will help us improve our finances. New car smell, IT system, all very, very exciting stuff then. So in terms of other upgrades we need to do, chassis is looking incredibly weak to begin with. I think we should be able to put 2 upgrades on the car then. So that one should come on just after the first race of the year. And we don't have enough R&D points to do another chassis upgrade. We don't have enough R&D points to do any other upgrade apart from durability. And I think if how F122 went, durability is probably going to be very, very important for myself as well then. So already getting some upgrades on the car. But yeah, I think we're ready then. Bahrain, opening race of F123 My Team. Let's get it.
Welcome to your workstation. Everything should be set up and ready to go. I'm Ben. Anything R&D, I'm the person to talk to. Oh, and it's tradition for the team to go out for a bite to eat at the end of the race weekend if you're interested. Do well, and it's all on me.
Despite the fact I'm the boss, Ben's willing to pay for my meals, so clearly we're paying him too much early on inside F1 23 then. But yeah, new different displays, all that good stuff as well. You know, it does look very, very nice and refreshed. Of course, you can see all those upgrades that we had coming in then before the season, so we're not exactly on the back foot. And of course we've got even more R&D as well, and now that we can spend, of course, now we've had those extra performance points coming in. So focus, I think, has still got to be on... No, we can't even focus on the chassis because I need to upgrade other facilities. So we will go then with an aerodynamic upgrade as well. But yeah, early on, of course, the big focus is just about trying to make sure we get as many R&D points as possible. Looks like before the first race of the year, though, McLaren have already jumped Alfa Romeo, and Aston Martin have dropped behind Mercedes. So very, very interesting.
Morning mate, Mark here. Just want to say once again, thanks so much for making me part of this team. There's a huge number of talented people as I look around this garage, and I cannot wait to see what we can all accomplish together, including you. Our journey to the Constructors' Championship starts right here.
Mark with some words of encouragement as well, but obviously free practice, the time where we can earn some R&D points, get used to the new car as well, and hopefully try and get some good data. Of course, yeah, we're going to try, I mean, we don't really know what the setup meta is going to be like just yet on F1 23, so we are going to have to be a little bit careful and experiment with a few different things there, but maybe slightly higher downforce to kickstart the game is going to be ideal. But again, we're going to try and run what I often did on F1 22 and kind of hope that it works, but we don't really know to begin with. There are, of course, new, very, very different front and rear suspension settings as well. I'm going to make things very, very intriguing. But yeah, like I said, we're going to try and run similarly to what we did on the previous game there. Lots of different setup tweaks as well. Let's just get out there and let's try and learn a few more things about this car. Right, well, here we go then. Very first free practice session inside F1 23. How are we going to get on here? We'll try and open up the DRS as soon as possible. Of course, we've already done a bit of driving on this game, so we should know some of what we need to expect there, but obviously lifting and coasting, very, very important in this fuel-saving run. But yeah, this first weekend is just going to be about trying to get dialed in, not really coming in with too many expectations for a result or anything like that. You know, if we've got a lucky safety car or something like that, I would absolutely take it, but no real, you know, hunger. You know, it's not like where we come in and we're fighting, you know, we want to be trying to fight for wins early on. We just want to get used to this car, work out a setup, and work out its sort of characteristics. And don't crash it. That's the other important one. Well, first lap on the board there. Must admit, I'm quite a fan of the way the power units sound inside F1 23, but a little bit wide there. To try and head out of the final corner. First lap's going to be 1.2 seconds off the Delta, so not perfect, but we can definitely get a whole lot closer. It will take time. Right, well, definitely what I'm learning early on then is we're going to need a bit more downforce on the car. Of course, top end speed looking very, very competitive early on here, but yeah, we just have not got enough through the corners. So yeah, we'll try doing it on this final run, but yeah, if we fail that, then we'll head back to the pit lane and try and get a bit more wing. Tell you what, immediately, and what a difference just moving around the brake bias and the brake pressure slightly and the aerodynamics, giving ourselves a little bit more wing there. This car suddenly feels a lot more racy and well suited to this Bahrain circuit. Of course, we know we've got very, very good top end speed here, and you can see heading down in towards the final corner. We're just going to try and lift and coast slightly, get ourselves a bit closer to that purple score, but would rather lock in the green if I can only get the one out of the final turn up towards the line, and another half a second found then over my previous. Our first green score of F1 23. You know what? We'll take it. Next up then is the tyre wear management program, and now we've actually got access to the battery as well then. Of course, you don't get access to it doing the fuel saving run, otherwise it'd just be far too easy just to melt through battery to try and give yourself a helping hand there, and you can see exactly why. 3/10 up before we even make it down to turn one. Heavy braking though. Just got to be smooth on throttle, which is a lot easier on this game than F1 22. Oh, okay, back end there, just sliding around a bit. Not ideal on the tyre program, but yeah, do love the way the cars handle on this game. Not when they do that, though. That was complete rear locking down at the almost hairpin, but we're lucky to have got away with it. As I was saying, though, I do like the way the cars handle inside F123. You know, they do feel a lot more dynamic, a lot more realistic. In F122 was just all about just don't let them spin out all the time, whether it was second gear, fifth gear, or even eighth gear on occasion. But yeah, F123, they make a lot more sense in my mind anyway, and I know a lot of other people have said this as well. So yeah, I'm really hoping, of course, it's going to allow me, you know, to be able to commentate again properly when I'm driving, because of course we did struggle with that inside F122. But clearly it's not easy as such, it's just more realistic, at least in my mind. We're heading down in towards the final corner then, just trying to keep it clean and tidy, and after a couple of really bad laps, it looks like this one's kind of come out of nowhere at the end of the session. It's going to be our first purple score of F123, a good chunk of R&D points as well to help us out. Now we've just got the race sim run to do. Race sim run then, fairly textbook, just got to make sure we're reaching the target times every lap consistently. Hopefully we can try and just do this one 3 for 3. Yeah, definitely now, as I'm starting to push the car a little bit more, the handling model, you're starting to learn the nuances of it as well. They're very, very good fun early on. Like I said, it's the rear lock-in, it's how much more dynamic the car feels. And you can actually put your foot down on exit, which is so nice. So nice. I must admit, though, it is a very, very weird feeling again. Of course, going from having such a dominant car towards the end of F122. So, I mean, look at that. Lewis, I think that's George Russell, sorry, trying to pull alongside me down in towards the final corner. Please don't ruin my first lap. He absolutely is going to. What are you doing? Why? Oh, no, the AI. I'm already making enemies inside F123 there. George Russell clearly not wanting to play games there, and he's completely ruined my runs. You know what? I'm going to try and stay alongside him to get back down towards turn 1. The other Merc heading out of the pit lane. And George, if you're going to go, just get on with it, please, man. Please, George, just let me do me race sim runs. Hey, come on. See, look, you can save that. You can save that on F123. Come on, up towards the line. I think we're just going to get back into the green there. So second lap is not over, but here comes Lewis Hamilton and his tyre wear warning flashing up as well. We haven't done that many laps on these mediums, have we? But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how the tyre wear fall off is going to be like on this game as well. Yeah, these tyres are definitely starting to give up the ghost. Oh no, here comes our teammate Fittipaldi already. 2-1-2 civil war as we head down in towards the first corner. Our young Brazilian phenom there. Oh, he's giving me a big old squeeze through turn 2. And I don't really want to fight him. I just want to lose as little time as I possibly can. These tyres are absolutely cooked then. As come on, just get down the inside of me in towards turn 3. Definitely seem like the AI are more confident on the brakes on this game as well. They're at least in free practice. But Fittipaldi, now please don't slow me down, my friend. Come on, get on with it. Heading through the final corner though, looks like we might get 2 purple scores, whoa, in a row, as you can still see. Got to be so careful over the entry curves through some of these corners there. Big kick of oversteer to try and slow it down there. But at the final turn, that's going to be another purple score then. We've got another car now trying to look past me as well. That will be the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. But yeah, we're done with free practice then. I suppose it's time to get on with qualifying and see what this car's actually capable of in anger. Well, I'll be completely honest then, as we head into the sunset here at Sakhir. First of all, car looks absolutely stunning then. I always love a basic orange car at the start of a new F1 game for this My Team series. But the real question, of course, is will we have the pace to make it into Q2? Honestly, I've not got particularly high expectations, but if we made it through, it would be a nice surprise. Braking down at turn 1 though, about 150 metres on the way in. Again, just really having a cadence brake more and more now. Can't mash the brake like you used to on the previous F1 game, but it is going to be learning just how much you can get away on the throttle, of course. I've had to really try and train in my right foot in the throttle zones in the past, but now, of course, you really can just go for it. And I love as well the fact that the short shift OP-ness, if you will, has really been reduced there as Lance Stroll sets the benchmark of 31.8 first of all. Of course, Aston Martin, they should comfortably be seeing themselves at a Q1. But what are we going to be able to do? Make it through 9 and 10 are when we've got good grip. That corner is very, very easy again. We've struggled a lot with that in practice, but to be fair, our tyre wear was up towards 60-70%, so yeah, that might explain why we had so much locking through there, and quite clear as well, of course, early on in the game's life cycle. You know, trying to balance the tyre life is going to be very, very difficult as well. There, Alonso 31.5. In fast as we just try and keep it between the white line. George Russell smashes that out of the park, a 30.5 by the Mercedes man, so clearly feeling a lot more confident and ready to go for it. But one more corner to go for us then. What was our first time on the board going to be? Didn't do any competitive one-lap runs in free practice, but at the final corner up towards the start-finish line, it's not going to be a 31, it's going to be a 32.4. Go quicker than Gasly and Albon though, so I guess we can't complain. Honest, I was feeling quite proud of myself after that first run. Fittipaldi, however, has just gone almost a second clear of me. So yeah, the AI generally are very, very strong at Bahrain anyway. They're just able to find a lot of time. But yeah, we need to try and improve them. We've still got more than 5 minutes left on the clock. We've got 3 track space as well. So let's just try and see if we can get closer to Enzo. Well, a little bit of a mistake as we went through 9 and 10, but still finding a bit more, as of course the track getting more and more rubbered in. Nick de Vries currently up in P18, not quite sure the time that he's set, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of other cars improve late on in the session there as we head through the penultimate corner. Often this final sector has been a happy hunting ground for me over the big bump off the final curbing, but one more turn to go. See, even if we can just find half a second, I'd probably be quite happy with that. Much nicer run. No, it wasn't in the final corner, just a little wobble on the exit then, but surely we're going to find a few more spots. There we go, P16. So we're right on the cusp at the moment, at 32.1. We could make it into Q2, but we're going to need one more run, and I won't then have any fresh sets of tyres. In fact, I'm not even convinced I got enough time there. Only 3 minutes left on the clock. So yeah, unless no one improves, we might just squeeze by, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, well, Fittipaldi then has clearly mugged me off here, but track conditions must have really improved towards the end of Q1. Lewis Hamilton fastest there ahead of Carlos Sainz. Fittipaldi, though, in P14, I am lining up last, though. There was definitely a good few more tenths in the car. I could have probably got in towards, you know, sort of a mid-31 there around Oscar Piastri. But clearly, yeah, very, very tightly bunched field a bit further up then. So I reckon sensibly we were only about half a second away from our teammate there. But he makes it into Q2 then for the first time ever for 212 Motorsport. I don't know. So anyway, let's get on with it, though. It's ready for the first race of F123 here for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Ocon, Gasly, Stroll, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Albon, Magnussen, Fittipaldi, Tsunoda, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, De Vries, Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula 1 underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Okay, brand new season and we're starting at the back. It's not where we want to be, so let's see if we can do better than that in the race.
Well, I'm sure we can do better than last place in the race there, Mark. But I'm a little bit confused why Crofty also thinks I'm Logan Sargent. But the less said about that, the better. So race strategy today, though, I think we just got to try and stay sensible. We'll stick to the one stop then. Obviously, Bahrain can be quite an abrasive circuit as well. Obviously, very, very hard on the tyres. And yeah, don't really want to take any big risks to kickstart the all-new campaign there. But starting from the back, 29 laps ahead of us today.
Hold it there until the start. Right,
there we go. We know what we're doing. It's exactly the same as the last game, so I guess we don't have to worry about that too much. Don't actually know how much throttle we're going to need, though. Clearly that was too much. Yeah, we'll wing it on the real start and see what happens. That hopefully it goes better than that. Well, it's Red Bulls ahead of Ferraris, ahead of Mercedes at the front of the field. But yeah, it was only Enzo Fittipaldi, one of our 5 rookies heading into this campaign, who was able to lift himself out of the bottom 4 there. The rest of us all line up right at the back. Might be a little bit sheepish around each other. But yeah, Nick de Vries starting alongside me. Logan Sargent starting just in front there, but he's on soft, so I'm intrigued to see how he's going to get on today as well. Then we're just trying to put some heat into the rear tyres, then ready to kickstart an all-new journey. It always begins here in Bahrain, but how are we going to get on today? They're purple on the lineup, waiting on those 5 red lights. The first race of F123, it's 5 red lights. Incredibly long hole, but it is finally lights out and away we don't go there, and I haven't got enough revs into the car. Then you can see cars fanning out immediately as we head down in towards the first corner, but definitely needing more boot there. Almost hit the anti-stall as we head in towards the first corner. Looks like the Red Bull's still leading the way, but to be honest for us, it's not been such a bad thing, as around the outside of Nick de Vries will go there. So much concertinaing up through the first corner, immediately up 1 spot then, so can't complain about that all too badly. So Nick de Vries immediately, though, trying to look back past me as we head up the hill. Of course, we've both got the Red Bull powertrains power unit in the back of the car, so it should be pretty even down the straight. So it's just a question of how much downforce both of us are running, as I think this weekend we are running a little bit more than the AI there. You can just see Logan Sargent straight down the inside of Oscar Piastri, then trying to take good use out of those soft compound tyres at the start of the Grand Prix there. Compromised exit, though, is going to allow us to potentially have a look at the inside. We'll try it. We'll be very, very cautious on the way in, but try and slip down the inside of young Logan Sargent. And clearly, yeah, that lack of pace we had in qualifying, not going to phase us early on there, as it looks like, I'm guessing, Verstappen still leads. It looks like Charles Leclerc, though, however, has got between those Red Bulls at the start of this field. So one Ferrari gaining a place, the other one seems to end up in a Mercedes sandwich. So Perez, yeah, not too happy, I'm sure, with that one. Still can't hit that curb. I'm very quickly going to learn then, as Sargent tries to have a look up the inside. Yeah, as we come around the final couple of turns, though, we have just about survived lap 1 then here in Bahrain. But yeah, I think it is, Max Verstappen who leads the way. Then, like I said, I'm pretty certain Charles Leclerc P2 as Sargent just wants to go for it anywhere. We'll leave him and Nick de Vries to battle behind me. Can't help but feel already looking at the minimap like Lando Norris might be a bit of a cork in the bottle this afternoon. That McLaren car 9th fastest ranked as we went into this season. So the fact he was able to qualify that thing, I think it was P8, wasn't it? Alongside Fernando Alonso, was nothing short of a miracle. Don't hit the wall. I literally was watching the AlphaTauri Yuki Tsunoda up the road then. I thought he was going to run off the circuit. I'm sorry? I was trying to recover from a spin, Mark. That, I mean, the FIA clearly have still got it out for me, and you won't see that on any other YouTube channels. Someone picking up a 3-second time penalty practically immediately. Penalty, though, however, is not going to phase me early on. I was hoping we could try and stay within the DRS of the cars in front, but it gives me a bit of time, you know, a bit of clear track running as well. But I reckon, yeah, with all those cars battling up the road, that battle pretty much extends up to 10th place. We should be able to just close back in again. There we go, first competitive lap time of the day, 35.4. So despite the fact the AI have still obviously all DRS training each other, we're not dropping away.
Gap to your teammate ahead is 5.7 seconds.
5 seconds up to Fittipaldi up the road then, and you can see, yeah, those gaps now really are starting to come down. You can see the AI battling side by side through a lot of the corners, so this is really helping us out early on. And we're just building up confidence in our own car, more importantly, so we know when we get back to them what we can actually push and get away with. I'm happy now then, gap down to 2.3. We are really starting to find our mojo in this race. There, it looks like Nick de Vries is going to try and have a look for a run on Logan Sargent back in towards the first turn. So yeah, clearly those soft tyres as well starting to fall off a little bit for the Williams, but got to make sure we nurse our tyres as well. As best as possible this afternoon. That's not how you nurse your tyres early on in the GP there, as Sargent's still trying to hang on at the inside of the Alpha Tauri, and I think he will just about make it work this time round, but the gap to the pair of them is just coming down and down and down there as Tsunoda, aggressive move. Sorry, Nick De Vries even aggressive move. There you go. Yeah, that gap really is coming down, so this works nicely for us there. Because now, I mean, through that hairpin we often seem quite strong. 3 tenths, another 3 tenths gone. So agonisingly close to Logan Sargent's DRS there. You can see the gap floating at less than 1.1 seconds, but can we just get within the range? No, not quite. That DRS detection point, if only it was through the final corner rather than just before it. And the problem is we're using so much battery to try and make it happen. This might be a window for us. De Vries and Sargent side by side again as we head down towards turn 1. This time around, De Vries just lets him have the place. So are they working together just to try and keep me back? I do hope not. I tell you what, I'm amazed we still haven't seen Sargent come into the pit lane though. As we get towards the end of lap 9. I don't know whether he's trying to extend it and then go hards to the end or what, but either way his pace actually is still looking very, very good, and unfortunately now he's starting to drag Nick De Vries away from me in this GP. So again, we're right there in terms of pace with him. We just can't seem to do anything with it, as Fittipaldi's heroics in qualifying already look to be coming undone there, as he's just slowly dropping back down the order. But yeah, Verstappen's still leading the way. Looks like Perez has now made it back past Charles Leclerc then. So Ferrari and Mercedes locked into battle. Alonso and Stroll now up in 7th and 8th. But yeah, we just can't quite seem to get close enough at the moment to Nick De Vries again. And we've got so little overtake to work with. I think, yeah, Sargent looks to be trying to drag his set of soft compound tyres then right the way through to then go hards to the end. So it was a good job that I didn't try doing a 2-stop, because I think it would have only been us on that strategy. But yeah, we're just not quite able to get close enough to De Vries. Seems like we really do cook the tyres as well, which has not been helpful. Of course, still trying to get used to the new braking. But yeah, Fittipaldi, like I said, he's just slowly dropping back as well at the moment. So quite clearly, both cars struggling a bit for race pace. So yeah, we are going to go hard tyres to the end, but it's whether we try and box a little bit early. Whoa, I mean, look at that. Down at turn 1 there. Don't feel like I'm doing anything more particularly aggressive, but still, the back end, not a fan. We go Sargent then, first car this season into the pit lane, so at least we're not going to be last now, albeit for a very brief period. He could still be 2-stopping for some reason, but I would highly doubt it. But I'm tempted, if Fittipaldi doesn't box the end of this one, to peel into the pit lane then. Sargent going mediums, so clearly Williams then opting for a very, very aggressive strategy with their rookie driver. And I mean, if he's been able to do 12 laps on softs, maybe, yeah, 17 laps on mediums still doesn't sound easy, but might be doable for them. There we go, Kevin Magnussen into the pits as well then, so quite clearly now the AI are starting to make that strategy choice. Yep, Team One is in the end of 14 though, so we're just going to try and stick with the original planned strat. But yeah, so far, whoa, this has been a tough old race, as once again that point being proven. The AI seem to come on really strong when their tyres are dying, which is not helpful for me. Right, ready then. First pit stop of F123 for ourselves. Yuki Tsunoda diving on in a little way up the road. Nick De Vries, of course, having to hang out 1 lap longer. Make sure I just get it slowed down nicely. Of course, I completely even forgot we had that 3-second penalty as well from the spin, so it's going to make this race even more difficult. I've got to learn which button's which again. Now I'm on PC. A little bit early, but that'll do. So 2.9 second stop is the estimated. There we go. So not too bad. And what is my pit limiter button? I think it's my DRS. Yes, it is. That's alright then. I mean, a long old way behind some of the cars up the road. Somehow we've lost a good 5 seconds to Sargent just in a couple of laps. We really need a safety car here if we want any chance of getting back into this, I think. That's the only way, by the looks of it, we're going to be able to revitalise this Grand Prix. Fittipaldi into the pit lane then, as well as a handful of other cars. So we'll wait and see if we can get some sort of time advantage undercut on the likes of Nick De Vries there. Still intrigued to see where Sargent's going to re-emerge in this Grand Prix when all is said and done there. But Fittipaldi down into 18th place. We're not quite that far behind Mark, but yeah, Nick De Vries just heading out of the pit lane then. Clearly the cold tyres are not as much of a challenge this cycle. But yeah, 5 seconds behind Nick de Vries. I'm just going to keep pushing, see if we can get anything from this race. Oh, yellow flag's out. One of the Mercs, I think, going slowly though. That might be Lewis Hamilton with issues in this Grand Prix. Come on, give us a safety car. Give us a safety car. Give me hope, EA, please. On the start of a new F1 game there, it's definitely a Mercedes assault. It is Hamilton out of the Bahrain Grand Prix, but apparently he's done it in a safe enough location that it's not going to bring anything for us. As Verstappen, despite the fact he's not pit yet, new fast lap of the day, only 3 seconds quicker than myself. Still struggling with the rears. There we go, first lap into the 33, so we are building up more and more confidence in the car, and the gap to Vries is still going the right way. But yeah, it's just any little mistake, any little lockup really does set me back still. But again, we've got 10 laps to go, 5.3 seconds. It's not over until it's over, and it's also that big gaggle in front of him that is still duking it out, that if they keep fighting aggressively, we could still try and recover something. Well, Logan Sargent then definitely involved in that battle, but we can see Zhou Guanyu and our teammate as well. They're all swapping positions as we start lap 20, and this is allowing the gaps to really start coming down for those cars. Unfortunately, Nick de Vries, I think, has also got the bit between his teeth trying to close on in, but this is good for us late on here. It has not been the perfect season opener. For those of you that have been around the Matt 212 channel for a while, you'll know we're not about those fairy tales. We're about real racing here, and if it goes badly... Oh! Red flag! What's happened? Whoa, someone's gone off. Alex Albon. What on earth has happened there? We got 2 cars stopped, and suddenly we have been given a lifeline then in this GP, as this is my first ever red flag inside F123.
Okay, this is essentially a free stop, so let's think
Wonderful.
very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
Can't complain too much about that then. So we are going to bolt on a fresh set then of the soft compound tyres to see us through to the checkered flag here. Just make sure, yep, that is correct. So, yeah, we'll advance from there. And now, we've got a race restart. 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away. Oh, come on, we go. I forgot about the anti-stall again, though. As we head down towards Turn 1, it is basically going to be a very, very... I mean, effectively now, we've got a 7-lap sprint race to the end of the race. Yellow flags immediately. What's going on? So we head down towards Turn 1 there. It's just an absolute pile-up. What on earth is happening in this Grand Prix? They get a warning for a collision with Nick de Vries. I think someone is breaking down, and it is. Lance Stroll then has broken down immediately off the restart then, so our second mechanical failure of the day. We're going to try and actually make an overtake then in this Grand Prix, and suddenly this race has been turned on its head. Of course, we've still got that 3-second time penalty, which is probably going to haunt us come the end of this one, but I mean, we may as well just go for it off this restart up the inside, and not 1 but 2 cars down at the hairpin, and suddenly now we're into P17, the lofty heights of P17 in this GP as Lance Stroll out here in Bahrain. But my first ever red flag, that one was quite crazy. I think there's still cars going too wide as we head down in towards the final corner. I think Fittipaldi as well had quite a good restart there. I think he's actually sniffing up around the top 10. I think he might be in 11th place in this GP. So go on, Enzo. Really has been a star showing in his first ever Grand Prix there. Alex Albon try and have a look around the outside of Zhou Guanyu. You can see there's another car there. I think that's Yuki Tsunoda, 3 wide. So they head back down towards Turn 1. So this race has suddenly come very, very exciting right towards the end there, as we're going to get 1, 2, and 3 off of Turn 1. No! Fittipaldi with issues late on in the day there as we go and complete a triple overtake in our first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix. Fittipaldi starting to go slowly now right towards the end of this race, and well, the first 20 laps were fairly normal, fairly calm. The final 10 or so are absolutely delivering here in Bahrain. What a crazy race this has turned into. I'm really hoping Fittipaldi can do me a solid here and potentially defend from these cars behind. Max Verstappen unfazed by that red flag. He is still dominating out in front there, but all over the back now of our teammate. Of course, I'll have no DRS this time round, but hopefully he's not going to make it too difficult for me. As we head back down in towards the first corner, DRS enabled. Fittipaldi, I don't know if he's going defensive or just trying to wave me by on the racing line. I think the answer is he's trying to go defensive on me. Drive like this against the other cars, Enzo, please. Let me go, let me break free, and try not to, you know, get harmed too much by this 3-second time penalty. Just defend for your life, good sir. I mean, fair play to Enzo so far this lap. He's brought the gap up to Alex Albon to over 2 seconds. To be honest, I'm not too worried, of course, if Fittipaldi gets me because of this penalty. But yeah, we can build this up. It might be that this penalty ends up not being worth anything come the end of this race. We've got very little overtake. I don't think we're going to get to Bottas or Magnussen. But with the race we've had, I would absolutely take a P13 there. It looks like Albon has got around the outside of Fittipaldi as well then. So Albon is going to have the bit between his teeth trying to close down that gap. But any cars that Enzo going to hold up towards the end, there's Yuki Tsunoda is going to stream past him as well. Any cars he can hold up is a huge favour. He's been a fantastic team player. Albon now seems to be able to keep Yuki Tsunoda at bay, but the gap to Yuki floating around that 3-second mark, so it might be the Williams gets a freebie unless they start battling. But 3 laps to go here. This race absolutely got turned on its head. I can't argue that I've been incredibly lucky, but like I said, this is racing on the Match 212 YouTube channel for our new viewers. Sometimes it works for me, other times it really, really doesn't. But that is all part of the fun. There's a big slide there. Top of the hill, that's going to cost us a bit. Keep your head down, keep focused. Oh, yeah, these tyres, we have pushed them hard in not a long space of time. Around in the final corner, then about to start the last lap here in Bahrain. And I tell you what, this has been a story of 2 halves, but there is still one final chapter to be played out. Alex Albon 1.4 seconds back, Yuki Tsunoda 2.2. I'm not convinced we're going to be able to stay ahead of either of them there, but the real question is, will Zhou Guanyu be able to get close enough as well? Max Verstappen and Red Bull, as expected, as we've seen in real life. Let's be fair, I think if they didn't dominate a lot of races in this first season, then it would be rather unrealistic, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, especially because I don't think he ever won a championship, did he, inside my F122 career modes. But as we round up the top of the hill, Albon now getting himself inside the DRS. We definitely not really too worried about that. It's the first time all day I've bottomed out over that curbing. But yeah, we've definitely pushed these tyres very, very hard there. And now I'm worried that we're going to start leaking positions towards the end with that penalty. I mean, completely unfair penalty. How they can say we gained an unfair advantage when I literally reversed away from a wall there. We certainly didn't gain any time from it. Yuki Tsunoda 1.5 seconds back, so Zhou Guanyu has got to be right on that cusp now. So we're going to have to absolutely send it through the final few corners. Max Verstappen, though, out of the final corner. He kickstarts his 2023 campaign in the way he wants to go on there, I'm sure. Whoa, no! We're going to say that a lot this season as we just bottomed out over the curbing. Don't say. We're going to bottle it late on in the day there. Alex Albon's going to say thank you very much. I mean, luckily it's not for points either way, so it's not going to be the end of the world. But through the final corner, come on, put the power down, get on with it, car. Up towards the line. It's P14 on the road, but I think it's going to be right at the back when the penalties come
Smiling
in.
faces on the pit wall then after that superb win here at Sakir. And rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they secured here. After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Max Verstappen now leads the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the Constructors, and Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, there we are then, the end of the first race of the year on Red Bull, maximum 44 points there. Max Verstappen looking absolutely in control. I think the red flag has broken the timings ever so slightly at the end of that one. But Perez in P2, like we said, Carlos Sainz there, a good podium for him, ahead of Charles Leclerc and George Russell and Alonso, the sole Mercedes and Aston Martin respectively, to make it to the flag there. Ocon, Norris, Gasly and Hulkenberg on his return round out our top 10 there. Both Alpines getting into the points in the first race back of the new season. And with that penalty, I think, yeah, it really has broken the timings, because apparently we were way behind. I think, yeah, it's completely broken. To be honest, Albon somehow has ended up down in P17. Fittipaldi has recovered to 15th place there, so I don't quite get how that has all worked out when all is said and done. But of course, Drivers' Championship exactly the same as our final race results there. Red Bull, though, leading the way in the Constructors, 17 points ahead of Ferrari there. Mercedes, Aston Martin, Alpine, McLaren and Haas. So 7 teams getting points on the board in the first race weekend of the year. Just leaves Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri, ourselves and Williams there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back later on today when Formula One returns to the Saudi streets. I promise you do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.